We're talking football with Bengal Jim and friends. We're talking football. We hope this never ends. Jimmy, James, and Tom are back for more. Like Joey B, we're here for season 4 with Bengal guests and stories not heard before. There's Tony, Mark, and Jamie, as well as our charity. Hooter Nation joining from far and wide. Every Tuesday night, the guys are back at it live. By the fans, for the fans, from day one. It's time to have some fun. We're talking football with Bengal Jim and friends. We're talking football. We hope this never ends. The Bengal boys stop by to drop the speed. Don't get your popcorn ready and take a seat. Season 4 will end with the Lombardi.
Tom's not here. Tom, you there still, buddy? Tom.
Here we go.
Kick us off.
That's all right. Welcome to another edition of Bengal Jim and Friends. We've got a full.
This is about as good as the.
As you can tell, very smooth opening, but we will get there. 8:05, a very big tailgate announcement. 8:15, big charity update, and a very special guest. 8:30, Joe Goodberry to go over the state of the Bengals going forward. Sunday's game against Houston, and this coming Thursday's game against the Ratbirds in Baltimore. So he's gaming it through tonight. But here's Jimmy.
Jamie's not in a bathtub. He looks like he is not in the tub.
I was going to be in a bathtub tonight, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I was going to do it.
The viewership has me to thank. We assigned him with too much stuff to do pregame, and that kept him out of it. For those that don't follow Jamie, he posted about goat milk or something and taking a bath in it on his social media. And first of all, we want to know which grown man takes baths anymore. And to follow that up, why you need goat milk to take a bath. But anyways.
You see how relaxed I look? What's that right here?
Goat milk is great for the skin.
Aren't you supposed to drink it, not bathe in it?
No, it's goat milk foaming milk bath.
Yeah,
I'm hearing an echo, guys. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing the echo. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
I'm going to blame Tom.
Let us know if they can hear an echo. I want to make sure I can fix that.
I cannot hear the echo right now. I'm
Okay.
good now.
All right.
Couple quick things. Want to let you guys know. Sorry, my voice is not here right now, but I'm going to try to fight through it. Tony the Tiger's not here tonight. So, Fan of the Year. There's actually the NFL Fan of the Year. You can vote on that, and I am going to put that link in the chat area here. If I can do this real quick. So let's do our part. Try to help Tony out. And vote for Tony for the NFL Fan of the Year. So I just posted that in the chat area for everybody as well.
While you're doing that, Lisa says, Jamie, she cannot find that bubble bath on Amazon. Is that only in?
So it might be a Canadian only thing, but Lisa, do not fret. I will bring you down a bottle next time I come down.
Lisa, it's okay for women to take baths, but men should be taking showers, but that's okay.
Oh, this is actually proudly made in Canada. That's probably why.
Saskatchewan, I bet.
No, Montreal.
Real quick for the group, anybody making it to Baltimore this Thursday night? We got a pretty good group of folks heading there. No tailgate planned for Baltimore, but we will be getting together pre-gaming, meet and greet at Pickles Pub, which we have done every year for the past few years. Great hangout, really close to the stadium. Get there early. We will be at Pickles Pub. Don't wear your black. Ravens are having a blackout game, and so wear all orange or all white, one of the two. But let's mess up their blackout game and let that orange and white stick out as much as we can in the stadium that day, Thursday night. So I think what else to hit here, guys. You know what? Let's just go ahead. Hey, James, you go ahead and drive this tailgate thing for Jacksonville. This is a very big announcement, guys. We've been sold over 600 tickets for this tailgate in Jacksonville. I'll let James kind of lead the conversation on that right now.
All right, let's bring Craig in. As we know, we've talked about this for weeks, months. We had people asking about Jacksonville tickets, I think, before we even launched the Nashville one. So this is a highly anticipated game. As we talked about, Craig was generous, went down there on a recon mission, did some homework, and he's going to talk about where we're at with Jacksonville. So, Craig, let's hear all the good news.
All right. First of all, they missed an marketing opportunity. That should have been called Goat Milk Bath. Anyway. All right, guys, this is going to be an incredible tailgate. And honestly, I think it's one of the greatest venues we've ever had. We've had to wait on this because this has not been an easy one in the slightest. Because what we're doing is we're actually taking over the city park across the street, directly across the street from Jacksonville Stadium, from the Jaguars Stadium. So literally, it's a straight line from the front doors of Jag Stadium across a street, and that's the red X that you see there. And that's also where the water taxis come in, and we're literally right on the water all the way up to the road. So the whole area is ours. It's going to be incredible. Same setup where we're going to have live music or DJs and the beer truck and food trucks, and it's just going to be amazing. So make sure you get your tickets. What helped make this happen, though, was that we had to purchase 100 standing room only tickets to the Jags game because the Jags control this area. And so they've been gracious enough to let us do this. But we've got to sell 100 standing room only tickets that we've already purchased. So they're on sale. The link is active now. We'll put it up later, I'm sure. It's a separate link than buying your tailgate ticket, so that there won't be any confusion. And there's 100 of them, and they're the same price as the Jaguars sell them for, except we're discounting them to $75 until this Friday at 11:59 p.m. midnight. And then there'll be $100 after that. So anybody that's looking for tickets, it's sold out. The game's been sold out. The prices are pretty high on the game tickets. This is a great way to do it. These are actually the best of their standing room only tickets in that they can be used at any of the standing room only zones they have. But the best zone is pretty much universally agreed upon is the north end zone next to the cabanas and the pool, that level. So that's where they're suggesting everyone go. So if you know anybody that's looking for tickets, let's punch them.
Yeah, I don't think you'll find a cheaper ticket. Yes, they are standing room only tickets, but if you want to get in cheap, come join us. You can buy a tailgate ticket and buy a cheap standing room only ticket and get into Monday Night Football game, probably the cheapest you will anywhere in the NFL. So we appreciate the legwork. Craig was actually down there during the Florida-Georgia game, which is probably bigger than most Jags games down there from what's it called, the world's largest cocktail party or something like that.
Correct. And there's a lot more people that don't go to the game than go to the game.
Between RV.
There is a question from Jen here in the chat. Is that where they park as well? Is there a separate parking area?
So you can go back to that map again. So the yellow square is the lot that we have exclusively for our tailgate parking passes. There's no other parking spaces between that and our park that you can purchase. They're all season tickets in advance. So those are all season ticket lots. It's a 10-minute walk. It's an easy walk. It's completely flat. So that would be where you park, and then you walk over to us, or you Uber or whatever.
So the yellow X is for parking, and the red X is where the tailgate is?
Correct.
Perfect. All right.
But Craig, there's water taxis that drop off right next to our tailgate area, correct?
Right. They come in from they call it the South Shore. And there's some hotels over there. There's also hotels downtown, but and they have different points where they pick up. But that is literally the spot where they drop off now, and you get back on after the games and stuff. So they go through a different walkway that's right next to us. so that stays open the whole time, but real easy. And all those fans have to walk right past our tailgate.
Hey, James, if you remember last time we were down there, the AJ Green fight with Jalen Ramsey, I think that's we took the water taxi. That's where we got dropped off at, right in that area. So if you're across the bay and in hotels, that's where you're going to get, when you take a water taxi, literally you're going to get dropped off right next to the tailgate.
Correct. I think they call it.
This lot has gazebos with picnic tables. It's just a ton of space, and we literally have this whole area that's along the waterfront because they're building a Four Seasons hotel right next to this park, and so it is closed off to go any further. So we have that whole end that is the waterfront that is opposite where all the taxis are. So it's just a beautiful spot, and the giant gator can't be missed.
Oh, yes. I have a photo of the giant gator. Give me 1 sec. I'll put that up.
What they call those areas are North and South Bank. There's hotels on both of them. And as Jimmy said, and others in the chat have said, you can take that water taxi to the game, and that'll drop you right off by the tailgate. So
and
it's going to be a fun weekend for sure.
As you see that gator, if you look at the gator, to your left about 50 feet is water, and to the right about 150 feet of park, and you see the stadium right in your left, or right on your right as you look at that gator.
And that gator and Joe Burrow standing next to each other in the tailgate might be pretty damn cool, guys. Greg, you found a great spot, man. That's going to be a lot of fun down there. So if you haven't got your tickets, we'll be a little over 600 tickets sold, Craig, for the tailgate.
Correct. I think 620. Yep.
Okay, 620. So we'll be reposting on all of our social media platforms how to get tickets for parking if you want parking, how to get tickets to the tailgate, and how to get tickets to the game if you want to use the standing room. Those are 3 separate items you'd have to purchase individually, correct?
Correct. That's one of the questions we get a lot of.
You can do the parking and the tailgate at the same time.
Gotcha.
But you cannot do the game ticket, because we didn't want to confuse you thinking that your ticket would be the ticket in. So we didn't want anyone having that trouble at the gate of the stadium when there was no time to do anything about it. So this way, you're going to get a separate email from the Jags with your ticket, and it's just like buying from the Bengals.
Guys, is there a preferred hotel down there for away fans? David's asking.
Yeah, keep in mind, a lot of those bank hotels, North and South Bank, are already sold out. Some a little bit further down, 95 were available. I know some people have Airbnbs. I think getting this late into the game,
and this is their big game. I mean, it's their Monday Night Football game at home. The people that we got that lot from have another lot, and they're at 75 a space already. So they expect it to be their highest costing game. So the world's coming to it, so they know it.
That'd be a good game.
So make your
plans.
plans.
Big dog Bengals coming.
Yeah, we have literally had Bengal fans are traveling to this game. I mean, already there's a lot of Bengal fans in Florida to begin with, but there's a boatload of people coming from the tri-state and all over the country, and we got a lot of Canadians and a lot of folks from England coming down to the game as well. But I think this will rival one of our couple best road tailgates ever. Arizona, Nashville, guys, that's how many people we expect at this thing, and we're right next to the stadium, right on the water. It's going to be
real restrooms.
That's important.
Yep, I know that some people like to hear that, especially the ladies.
Yep.
And just to reiterate, if you buy a tailgate ticket, parking is separate. So those are 2 separate tickets. If you have 3 people coming in a car, you need a ticket for the car and 3 tailgate tickets. Also, the standing room only tickets, if you need a ticket to get into the game, that is separate. If you have your own tickets for the game, that works too. But that's often a question that's in our DMs. If I have a parking pass, does that get me into the tailgate? And the answer is no.
And for clarity, we are a nonprofit. This is run by the fans, for the fans. Just you're seeing guys on the screen, folks not on the screen that are part of our tailgate that work really hard every week at home games and work even harder for these away games. We're not corporate. This is by the fans, for the fans. So we want to make this the best experience for any Bengal fan in attendance pregame. We will make that happen.
And I think part of the reason this happened, Jimmy, is because of the reputation that we've built up was why the Jags were comfortable in giving us this spot. Yeah. So I think that needs to be pointed out too.
Yeah. You guys have made one of the most unique tailgate experiences in the NFL, guys. Some of you guys have traveled and know this. I've been to 31 different NFL cities, and you guys have made this tailgate the absolute most unique tailgate in the NFL by far. And it's fun watching it grow and people having fun here.
Hopefully you'll have me back soon.
All right, Craig.
Back, Craig. Thanks, buddy.
Well, thank you.
We gonna show the video or no?
All right, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
See you, buddy. So for those that don't know, Craig owns a company here in Cincinnati called Cincy Beer Fest. If you've ever been to one of the beer festivals, his company does it upright. He puts them on in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Columbus, and several here in Cincinnati. Craig's good people. If you get to know him at all at the tailgate, this guy will do anything for you. Take his shirt off his back for you. He's good people.
Craig also gives us at least one good soundbite a year that we always refer to. And he's not online anymore. Can you guys make sure he doesn't wear black?
I was just going to mention that, Jamie. He'll give you the shirt off his back, and he truly will. But the question is it the right color shirt?
Guaranteed to be the wrong color. That's okay.
All right, let's hit on some of these charities here real quick, guys. Sorry for my voice.
Do we want to talk about the game at all, or we just
8:30? We got Joe Goodberry coming on. We're really going to dig into this.
I knew that.
So just want to let you know where we're at year to date. We raised almost $3,000 Sunday at the tailgate for the Revive Family Foundation. Guys, Tony sent us the link earlier. The update: $99,776 has been raised year to date for 24 different charities. Guys, this is amazing. We're doing nothing more just bringing these to the table, and you guys are supporting them. And it's not just Cincinnati folks; it's people all across the country and internationally helping with that. So we as a group work really hard on this. Tony's facilitating a lot of this, but we really appreciate it. And I know these charities, it means a lot to these charities as well. What else here we want to talk about? The fan of the year. Oh, I know. Let's talk about Toy Drive, Toys for Tots. Every year we do Toys for Tots at the tailgate. We had almost 100 toys dropped off this Sunday at the tailgate. We're also going to be doing it again for Toys for Tots for the Steelers game and Colts game. And then on 12/16, just pay attention to our social media platform. We're going to fill the Bengal bus up with toys as well. We're going to make a couple stops at some different places across the city and finish down at the Bengals Pro Shop. Stay tuned for some dates and times on that. We're going to do exactly what we did last year. Tony dresses up as Tiger Santa, and we go and collect toys, and you guys can drop them off and fill the bus up. Last year we hit 4,000 toys. Tony is up the ante this year. He is trying to hit the number of 5,000 toys. We're at 100 already this past Sunday. So feel free to join us. Make sure you meet us at one of the places, or even meet us down at the Pro Shop on 12/16 for Toys for Tots. But don't forget the Steelers and Colts game. We'll be collecting toys as well. Next Tuesday, we have another duck race coming up. It's benefiting Cincinnati Children's Starshine Hospice. So we got another charity duck race Tony put together. Here, the winners are going to receive this Chad Johnson signed mini and the Sam Hubbard signed photo there. And I do have the link, and I'm going to put it in the if you want to buy a duck, $25, get you a duck in the duck race. And I just posted that in the chat area. So if you don't have a duck, make sure to grab one. As many as you want, $25 each, benefiting Cincinnati Children's Starshine Hospital. That'll be next Tuesday. So make sure you get your duck in the race there, guys. All right, James, I think I hit all my updates. I don't think I missed anything. Fan of the year. Yep. Got everything covered there, brother.
Got everything covered.
Toys for Tots is unwrapped toys too, correct? We don't want the toys wrapped. We want
Correct.
The,
Correct.
Is unwrapped, and then for those that weren't at the tailgate on Sunday, Tony had like 4 or 5 different bins, whether it was for a girl age 6 to 9 or girl 10 to 14. So you can stick them in the appropriate bins. That way they're all sorted and can go to the appropriate people when that time comes. One thing we didn't mention, December 10th, that Colts game, We're going to have the Blue Crew contributing as well, the Colts Tailgate for that Toys for Tots drive. They're going to stop by and join us pregame. So we look forward to that, and it'll be a bit of a challenge who's going to bring more toys to that game. So we know it's going to be us, so step up. But you do have 2 opportunities to bring toys next Sunday, the 26th for the Steelers, and then that December 10th game for the Colts.
I do have one question for James. What bin would the goat milk bubble bath go into for the toy?
Straight in the Ohio River. Straight in the Ohio River. Jeez. Let's save that for Lisa. Apparently, you can't buy in the States, and Lisa needs some goat milk. She was entertaining her family all weekend. She was giving them the grand tour of Cincinnati, so she's tired and needs a goat milk bath. So please save that for her. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you guys don't even realize that if we didn't task Jamie with so much stuff, he was going to go live from his bathtub.
100%. I know.
I could spoken about that, or was that?
I can actually feel the vein in Jimmy's head through the text messages when I said I was going to do it. I was 100% going to log in from my bubble bath tonight. Then all of a sudden, you guys threw me all this pregame stuff to get done for the show, and I'm not taking the MacBook Pro into the bath. So you're lucky.
I mean, last time I took a bath, I was probably 8 years old, James.
You're missing out, brother.
I had poison ivy, and I had put like oatmeal in it.
Do you hear your voice right now? Do you hear your voice right now? Do you hear mine? Bubble bath, buddy. Bubble bath, buddy.
Oh, goodness. But no, just, we're going to talk about the game when Joe comes on. But another pregame, just a lot of fun. We had City Birds down there, chicken at the tailgate on Sunday for the first time. They enjoyed getting to meet all the Bengals fans. We appreciate them stopping down. Obviously, every tailgate staples like Donato's, Everything Bagels, Skyline. Give a big thanks to Bruce and Jeremiah. Craig was
killed it
on this past weekend. Those guys stepped in big time and were a big help. Obviously, Kick and CMA for everything they do. Icky was there. Bengals Bids even donated a jersey with somebody that bought that AJ Green jersey as part of the raffle, got some extra tickets. So again, as Jimmy said, as everybody said on the show, this is a group effort that does that. It's because of your generosity that we're just under that $100,000 mark. We'll exceed it, going into the Thursday night game, and then we'll be back after Thanksgiving. So big game. Have your questions ready for Joe Goodberry, and Jamie will do what he can to get those on.
Tony just dropped this in the chat too. An Amazon link's been created for the toys as well, so you can actually buy toys on Amazon.
Yeah, there's an actual QR code that was on that link. So check Tony's social media page. All of our social media pages should have that up and running here. If you don't see that, we'll be posting that again. So before we get Joe Goodberry's coming on here at 8:30, let's go and hit our On the Mark segment here. Mark, you want to kick that off?
Absolutely. It was another beautiful Sunday. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. We had a great time at the tailgate. We said City Bird was out. We had our normal cohorts in Everything Bagels, Donato's Pizza, Skyline, Bagel Bids. Icky was down there. It was a beautiful time other than the game, but I always say that when you tailgate, it makes the wins that much better, and it makes the losses a little sting a little less. So let's roll that beautiful Bengal footage.
Here we go.
Back at it once again in a few hours. Complete pandemonium. Hooter. Can I get a who day? Let me get a who day? Who day?
Shout out to the veterans that served so we could do things like this here in America. Now listen, I've got two questions for you guys. One, who they? Who they? Who they? Who they? Who they think gonna beat them Bengals?
Man, what a fun time at the tailgate, man. Everybody was having so much fun down there. It's just fun to what a great vibe people have created down there.
That was good, except I think Mark slipped in a kickball reference. What the heck? Is that not
I did.
Before?
I did.
That's not true. Jeez.
I slipped it in at the last second. I have to say also one thing I love that I've been a part of this is be able to meet all the fans from all over the world. And we had some guys down there from Ireland. And just to hear how much they love our team and the things they go through to make it, it means a lot, you know, and it's nice. I mean, it's sad they didn't get a win this time, but I think we've had people there from 6 continents, maybe at this point. I'm still hoping to meet somebody from Antarctica. I'm not sure if people are born there, but I would love to close out that last continent. But it's, you know, it was a great day. I know the team fought hard. We didn't get the victory, but the tailgate was a blast as always.
Hey, Jamie, are you getting an echo? I got a text from somebody saying they're getting a major echo. I don't see anybody in the chat area seeing it.
That text was earlier. I don't hear it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, that was earlier. My bad. Still waiting a couple more minutes from Joe. Just make sure checking text message here from Joe.
Hey, Jimmy, kind of building on what Mark just said. I don't think people really realize the people that come in from out of town, stay in downtown Cincinnati, greater Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and just don't come for the game, but come for the city. And I mean, they wouldn't come if it wasn't for the game. They wouldn't be here, but come, you know, spend their money, visit our restaurants, you know, visit everything there is to do. But their main focus is the game itself and what that means to the county. And, you know, just how in the last several years, the Bengals already meant so much, how much more they mean to the spirit of the city, you know, and the local economy. So
yeah, I mean, there was groups of fans coming in from out of the country, back-to-back home games that stayed for the entire week. 10 days, they were here for 10 days, stayed for both games. So I don't know how you qualify that, but
I heard they stayed at James's place. Listen, Joe's in the waiting room. Who wants to do the intro for Joe?
Tom, go ahead and kick off the intro, buddy.
All right.
He's a fantastic friend of this show and the Bengal fans everywhere. His analytics are second to none, not just for the current team, but the history of the franchise, in particular, our mutual good friend, Willie Anderson. So we thank him so much for cutting date night short and joining us and all of you tonight. And here is Joe Goodberry.
What's up, boys?
What's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
Really?
Great. Yeah.
Hey, better question. The question is, how's Glenn right now? Is he okay?
I actually did just talk to him on the phone. He's like, we are so cursed. Buffalo, he's like, we're watching the Sabres get their ass kicked by the Boston Bruins right now. Everything sucks. And I'm like, dude, you'll be all right. It's kind of how it goes sometimes. You know how it is.
That's funny. Wait, appreciate you carving time out of your night, brother. It was fun having you in town. I know you got pulled in a lot of different directions Sunday during the game. We appreciate you guys stopping by and seeing us. The Bengals did a hell of a job of featuring Joe and Glenn Goodberry in one of their features. If you haven't seen that, go to their YouTube channel. It's a really good piece. It was fun to kind of get to know Glenn a little bit more than I thought I did earlier, but that was a good piece the Bengals did on you. But Tom, go ahead and kick us off here, brother. We got a lot of stuff to hit Joe with. Joe knows all. So Joe,
don't start there.
no, raising the bar, brother. Raising the bar. So get your questions typed in. Jamie's going to try to get to some of these as quickly as we can, but we got a lot of stuff to hit, man. We can talk about the Texans game. Let's talk about what the hell we got to do to beat the Ravens Thursday. Tom, get us kicked off, brother.
Joe, the ups and downs of the season. I mean, everybody here was on top of the world when you were here in town after beating Buffalo. And then, even though it somehow almost happened, whatever you want to call what happened on Sunday. Have you ever seen, though, and players do have bad days. It does happen. But I haven't seen, guys we have counted on all year weren't there Sunday. Alex Kappa, maybe the toughest guy on the team, was abysmal. Jonah Williams, even though he got flagged for a holding call, that was not a holding call.
Agreed.
Probably his worst game since probably week 2. The line looked like the line of old. And even though the defensive line, DJ Reader hit a couple hits, Trey did get a sack, we got killed on the interior, both lines. And to compensate, we didn't have a lot of speed to match up with the Texans. Was it simply a matchup problem, a coaching problem, or an everything problem?
Whenever you lose like that, and you're right, they did claw back and almost stole that game at the end there after it kind of really, after that second interception in the end zone, I'm like, well, that's it. It just wasn't their day. And then they found a way. Cam Taylor Britt as that pick. And you even saw Burrow's reaction on the sideline if you watch the broadcast, where he's kind of like, oh, we got a chance here. We can go get back in this game. And they do. And they probably should have won. If Boyd catches that pass, who knows what happens. The defense was, very easy to get through all day. So maybe the Texans would have driven down and scored. We don't know. But, this team has come through in clutch moments in the past. So maybe they would have gotten that stop. It is weird that they had so many malfunctions in one day. And I just got finished watching the tape on the offense defense today. And while watching that, there were so many plays where I ended up saying, damn, they had a guy. Damn, they had a guy deep. Damn, this guy was open on the crossing route. And it's never to blame everything on a quarterback, but we know they get more credit than they deserve. And sometimes they get more blame than they deserve. And it wasn't a great day for Burrow. He had, the 2 interceptions, obviously. The one, not so much his fault as Drew Sample kind of cuts that a little too shallow instead of running the seam and going vertical. The second one, he's definitely trying to do too much there. And there's no chance of getting that ball in there. But there were a lot of misreads and misthrows. And it was just like, yeah, if we need Burrow probably to be A to A+ for the rest of the year, if they're going to get back in this and make this run. When they made the run last year, won 10 straight games, Burrow was dynamite in almost all of those games. So we're going to need that in the second half of the year. And because that's how you get over so many flaws and issues. And maybe the D-line's having a bad day. Maybe Sam Hubbard's not in the game. Maybe you don't have T. Higgins, whatever the case may be for the rest of the year, because those things are going to happen. You need your quarterback to be on the best he can be.
Yeah. So Glenn, I almost called you Glenn, Joe. My bad. Joe, I guess the one thing, again, it's like the end of the world every time we lose. Season's over. When we win, we're going to win the Super Bowl. The extreme. Geez, oh Pete, man, just people need to kind of. It's never as good as you think it is. Never as bad as you think it is. But the one thing that has been disheartening to me as a fan watching this thing, it's been consistently difficult to watch all year. It's been their run defense. That's been since day one this year. So trying to figure out what's going on there. What is why are they struggling against the run?
I don't think they have the depth they thought they were going to have on the defensive line. I think that's really hurt them. Zach Carter has not taken that next step at defensive tackle. Last year, at least he was solid versus the run, even if he couldn't give you anything as a pass rusher. They were hoping he'd take a step this year as a pass rusher. And he may have, but he's definitely defending the run worse this year. So anytime you get your backups in there, you notice almost instantly. You notice the other team starts getting 5, 6, 7 yards. You're like, wait, who's out there? Oh, Josh Dubois out there, or Joseph Ossai's out there, Miles Murphy's out there. Like, what is going on here? They thought the defensive room would be really strong. They thought Joseph Ossai would maybe take another step this year. He hasn't. I put him on a milk carton on Twitter because, man, we need last year's Joseph Ossai to step up here and make some plays, because that would be a big boost to this defensive line. But when your defensive line and the backups, they have to rotate in. They have to play. You can't keep playing the starters 80% of the time, because even they are going to start to wear down. So I think that's a big thing for them. I think the second thing is anytime you have new safeties, the communication is going to be different. We expected that. We expected they'd have some issues to start the year, but now we're halfway through. It's got to get cleaned up. It's got to get better. Nick Scott's got to play better. He's not the kind of, like, he's coming down in the box and he's whiffing right now. He's got his vision, his awareness. Both have been issues. Those weren't things we had problems with Vaughn Bell and Jesse Bates. Those guys were smart. Communication was excellent with them. And I think it's actually started to trickle down to the linebackers as well. We got 2 good linebackers that are veterans, but they had their handful of mistakes this last game as well. So they've got to find a way to tackle better. And just, sounds like I listed a lot of stuff, because there's still one more thing that I think is a big thing that Lou Anarumo's probably pulling his hair out with this defense. The corners have to tackle. As good as Cam Taylor-Britt has been this year, man, he is hesitant to come up and play the run at times. And he's a big, physical, strong dude. He should be, like, coming out of Nebraska, Cam Taylor-Britt could hit, he could tackle, fearless. Now you see him slide tackling in there and kind of just hanging back like, hey, someone else come in here and make a play. And he's been great this year in coverage, but we need him to be a physical tackler. And then DJ Turner, he's a rookie. He's small. I kind of give him a pass right now. Like, you'll get it as you get older, you get stronger, you'll get more confident there. But he's a liability as a run defender as well. So it's a lot of issues right now.
James?
Yeah, I'm going to go off the beaten path here, Joe. We're going to talk about your brother's Western New York team. We saw the Bills fire Ken Dorsey today. They replaced him with Joe Brady, who was a hot name a couple of years ago. He had his run in Carolina, was there when Joe won the national championship in LSU. How much of that was they got to do something to cool Sean McDermott's seat? Obviously, Ken Dorsey wasn't throwing those interceptions. Right. Josh Allen's, had a couple weeks. What's your thoughts on that situation there in Buffalo, who we know is, going to be with us in that playoff race? So it's going to come down to, what they're doing as well. But I thought that was an interesting move by somebody who we're battling in the AFC playoffs.
Yeah, and you're making a good point there that they're going to be with us. We kind of, if you could control it, you'd have the Bills and Bengals at the end with the same record, because you have the tiebreaker on one team so far in the AFC. So, let's keep the Bills close to us. Keep your enemies close, right? They needed a scapegoat, and there's no defensive coordinator because Sean McDermott's the D coordinator. He's doing the Marvin Lewis thing right now. And, I think they just said, hey, we've got to do something. I think there's turmoil in the locker room. They keep making mistakes in clutch games and big moments. And there was a year. What was the year they lost the 13 seconds to the Chiefs? Remember that before the Bengals and Chiefs played. And I think they went 0-8 in one-score games, or 0 of their last 8 one-score games at that point under Sean McDermott. And they didn't win a single one-score game the entire year that year. And you see it in games afterwards now, 2 years later, and you're like, close games, they melt down for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. But even not showing up in that playoff game against the Bengals, I think people are ready to do something, fire something, start over, figure it out. It's reminiscent of the 2015, how we felt after the Bengals lost again in the playoffs that year. And we had the worst, press conference ever with Marvin and Mike Brown at the podium. And it was like, geez, just get us out of here. But, they held on 3 more years. I think Bills fans don't want to do that and don't want to waste Josh Allen's prime and this roster while it's still good. I think Bills fans are ready for bigger changes, but I'm excited to see what Joe Brady can do.
Well, then you got Stephon Diggs' brother also tweeting that 14 needs to get out. That's not going to be good.
Let's
see that exploding, imploding.
One more question, Joe, and then we'll go to Jamie. You mentioned, Lou, that safety situation. Nick Scott, we heard a lot about his speed. He's going to stuff the run, things like that. That hasn't happened. How much is it? I think Jordan Battles looked good in his limited time. How much is that? Is Lou not wanting to play those rookies that we hear maybe is a knock on Lou? If he doesn't have to play the rookies, he's not going to. Maybe we're seeing some of that with Miles Murphy at defensive end. I think DJ Turner's had to play.
Yeah.
I don't think Lou's had much of an option there. He's had to throw him out of the opposite Cam Taylor-Britt. But going back to that safety position, which I think is, certainly looking at the defensive side of the ball, the two biggest changes we've had there, losing both Jesse and the guy that went to Carolina, going
Von Bell.
Von Bell. So what's your thoughts on that and Jordan Battle maybe not seeing some more reps?
Yeah, I'd like to see more Jordan Battle. I think the big issue when just looking at the two is Nick Scott offers more speed. He's just a much better athlete. You can see it even when he's running the wrong direction. He's running very fast in the wrong direction. And it's like, all right, at least he's got that. So you can unleash him once in a while on a blitz or a run defense. And there's been some issues where it's like, hey, I'm not sure who's at fault here because they're not playing their normal Lou Anarumo defense. Normally, Lou will disguise things and switch their coverages. The Bengals right now are amongst the league least in disguised coverages this year. And I think it's because they don't feel as comfortable passing guys off and transitioning the way they were when they had Bell and Bates, which that stinks because I think that's key to defenses today is to look like one thing and then switch it up post snap. And they haven't been able to do that. So I'm with you. If the bonus for Battle or to play Battle, because looking at his profile coming out of Alabama is that he was super smart and he would pick everything up and he'd be game ready and he would, almost like a veteran as a rookie. You hope that's true because that would be his way to get on the field. Because I think there are times even you saw they split. There was 2 plays in a row where Devin Singletary ends up scoring, but the play before that, he catches a pass over the middle on a slant also when the Bengals blitz. And Battle's in on that play, and he goes out with Singletary, and Singletary's a 4'6" guy. Like, this isn't some super athlete. He's quick and makes guys miss, but he's not fast. And you see the slant, and Battle just can't close on him. And it's like, we're looking at 2 4'6" guys here. And, do you want that on defense? And maybe Battle will get faster and quicker as he gets older. I don't know. Normally, that's not a thing. But the way to get faster without physically being faster is the reps, the experience, the mental part of it, right? Having your coordinator put you in good positions. So we need to see that and got to hope that's coming soon.
Jamie?
We have a few viewer questions I can get to here. Give me one sec. All right.
I do have a question real quick, Joe.
Okay.
It's about the running back position. I think the Jets released Michael Carter. Well, I know they did. And I saw some news that the Bengals may have been interested in him in the draft. Do you think that's something we could possibly look at off waivers?
Yeah, I do think so. The Bengals should be about 18th on the waiver wire, if my math is correct. So I think there's a chance there. And I think that, when you look at the running back room for them, they wanted to get Chase Brown more involved as the season went on. Then he ended up getting hurt, which is a bummer. And they really haven't used anyone else in terms of giving them the ball. They don't give Travion Williams the ball, even though he comes in and pass protects once in a while. Chris Evans was out running 3 routes this last game. And I'm watching film, I'm like, he can't even run routes now. Like, the guy doesn't do anything well anymore. And it's a mystery and it stinks because there was a point where we thought he was going to make plays for this team, not just this year, in previous years. And it just doesn't come to fruition every time we get to the halfway point of the season. I do think they would be interested in adding a running back and it's going to be cheap and you're just going to be a waiver claim. And I do think he could help, but Bengals get weird about adding players sometimes. Even there's you see these other teams adding veterans at defensive tackle and mercenaries at defensive end. And hey, let's just get a guy in here. Let's get a veteran corner for the 5th guy just in case we need him. Bengals just don't seem to do that. They, almost sometimes act like, oh, our scheme is so complicated. We can't get this guy ready to go in a matter of a couple weeks. It's running back, man. If any position can hit the ground running, it's running back. So maybe that would be different for them.
Great. Yeah, that was actually one of the questions. So I'll go to Augie's question here. Joe, why do you think Lou is so committed to the zone defense that the playing more man zone was torched?
It was torched. And I think ideally you play zone because you want to get eyes on the quarterback. You want to keep someone like Stroud, if you can, from running, which he didn't run too much. He did have the running touchdown, but it wasn't a big factor other than the rolling pockets and things like that. So I guess you could say that worked in that way. But you normally typically want eyes on the quarterback. You're going to get your hands on the ball more often that way. And I think they wanted to create turnovers. Now they did switch at around halftime and started playing more man coverage. And that got torched as well. Chidobe Awuzie got torched on a play. DJ Turner did. The Dax Hill, who's been great covering tight ends this year. He went one-on-one with Dalton Schultz and got shooken one time on 3rd and 6 and just absolutely obliterated him. And I think when you see that as a coach, you go, all right, it's not our day. We got to figure something out and try and create a turnover if we can. I think the man coverage big play, though, was Cam Taylor-Britt's interception. He saw the over route coming, and he completely jumped it the whole way. So you're right. It did. That ended up creating a big play, and maybe they should have went to man more often.
All right. Man's asking, Joe, how can you explain Sheldon Rankins getting 3 sacks Sunday? Has our IOL regressed?
Yeah, it's weird because the weak link this year on the O-line has been Cordell Volson, right? But the last so I looked at what they're doing this week on tape, and I wanted to see, are they doing anything different with Volson? Has he, taken a step? Has he settled in there? And it looks like they're moving Karras to help Volson a little bit more, which put Alex Kaplan on an island a little bit more. So the center is normally the free guy. If you're only bringing 4, he can help one of the guards, right? And in this case, it looked like a lot of times he was helping Volson, and they were like, Kappa, just do your thing. You've been solid for most of your career. And he got absolutely killed. It's no way about it. He got destroyed. Sheldon Rankins looked like an all-pro. I can't explain it other than the guy just got his ass beat consistently, and that sucks because it killed quite a few plays, and 2 of them where I thought we had guys going deep and we had a chance to create a big play.
Cool. Robert's asking, who's going to play spy, in your opinion, versus Lamar this Thursday since Hubbard is out? Would it be a linebacker?
Yeah, so I expect them to try and contain the pocket as much as possible. But, maybe not. As I'm saying this now, my big criticism of the week 2 game plan was it almost felt like Lou said, hey, let's keep him in the pocket and let's force Lamar Jackson to be a passer. And he tore him up. And he's torn up the league right now. He's completing over 70% of his passes. At this point, you got to have an adjustment. You got to say, this offense works for Baltimore. They will throw the ball, and they will complete a high percentage passes, and it's going to be tough. And I think the Browns did a good job in the second half of stunting, twisting, going all out on the D-line. Now they've got some horses up there, right? We've seen it firsthand with Myles Garrett doing his thing, Zadarius Smith, and they could do maybe a little bit more than we can if we're shorthanded on this Thursday night on the defensive line, but you got to do something. I don't think you can go sit out there and say, hey, let's just keep him in the pocket because he's going to dice you up. I think we got a chance here to see a linebacker, but the Bengals have been going heavy corner, heavy safeties this year and taking Jermaine Pratt off and nickel. So at that point, is that when we see maybe let Nick Scott, right? We talked about him being fast, just be a heat-seeking missile, just stay with the guy. Let's put Jordan Battle and Dax Hill as the safeties. I'm thinking outside the box here. I don't know what they're going to do because there isn't really a guy that I feel you can say this one guy can spy Lamar. It's a team thing. It's the D-line. It's the nose tackle, not letting him, run up the middle. And it's also the linebackers and corners. Mike Hilton's got to do his thing, setting the edge as well.
Yes. So, Joe, we obviously always appreciate your time on the show. I'll leave you with this last, unless the other guys have something else to say, but the last viewer question goes back to Augie. This is a great one. Tell us why we're to bounce back on Thursday.
Because Joe Burrow is the man, and because this team plays better under the lights. They play better in big games. They galvanize. They like when their back's against the wall. Maybe they don't like it, but they respond to it, definitely.
Sure.
And I believe every time Burrow has a bad game, while he's healthy, right? So now we assume he's back and healthy again the last 5 weeks or so. Over the last 3 years, he may have a game where it's it wasn't your best. He comes out on fire after that. And maybe there's not enough time to get enough in the playbook. He talked about this at his press conference today, add new wrinkles. So it's just going to be 2 teams that know each other, clashing head-to-head and going for it completely. And I hope the Bengals respond to that. But I think they're going to put it on Burrow's shoulders early and often, and the game will be decided there. And if he plays well, he's had his troubles with the Mike McDonald defense, but maybe this is the time. Maybe he's figured it out. And if he does, maybe it's just not this Thursday that they're back, but I still like the Bengals for the rest of the year in these big games against the tough schedule going, after this Thursday. It's going to get just as tough the rest of the year. 2 biggest games on the schedule, though. Looking at it, doing some simulators, the 2 Steelers games. If you can knock the Steelers on both of those, they're 6-3 right now. That puts them at 6-5. If you can beat them both times, that gives the Bengals 2 wins. That will put them at 7-4. You got everything you need right there. And the Steelers are one of the playoff teams if the season ended today. So take care of the Steelers no matter what happens on Thursday. and they'll be okay.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you this. So what are some of the matchups you're looking forward to this Thursday night? And the second question is, how many wins do we got to get to guarantee us a playoff berth?
Guarantee would probably be 11, but I like 10. Every time I do the simulators, every week after the games are done on Monday, I'm like, all right, let me do a simulator again, see how it plays out. Because I think we always get nervous that it's going to take 11, it's going to take more than that. But these teams all play each other in the second half. So someone has to lose in these games. If you can get to 10, you've got a great shot. And I know what the AFC record is what it is, but it's all AFC teams from here on out. You beat the Colts, right? You beat the Jags. You'll be fine. You beat the Steelers twice. You'll be okay. So I think 10 will get them in. For the matchups, though, honestly, Dax didn't have his best game last week. I love watching Dax Hill, and I love watching Dax on tape and what Lou can do with him and let him cover tight ends. He and Mark Andrews are going to go at it at least 5 times, one-on-one and man coverage, and it's a pleasure to watch that. So I'm excited to watch that, but also we're going to get a heavy dose, even though Trey Hendrickson practiced today limited, which is the guy's a madman. He just might be a psycho, so let him practice and do his thing. But we may get a lot of Miles Murphy, Cam Sample, and Joseph Osai. Somebody is going to have to step up for the rest of the year. One of these 3 are going to have to make an impact at some point. So let's see who it is.
I love it.
Tom, did you have one more you want to close with?
Yeah, well, one thing, Joe, you mentioned some of the struggles at safety. That first game was really, we missed Von Bell. As much as people talk about Lamar Jackson, it's the guy in the receiving and a lot of those passes that tears us up. Mark Andrews. Do you think Dax is the guy to shut down Mark Andrews, or do you think it's going to be Nick Scott? Or they seem to do what they do, and that's roll the dice over the middle.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of rolling the dice, but they will on crunch downs, on big third downs when they do want to go to man coverage. Dax is playing like that Trey Flowers role. They will bring him down. I highlighted 5 plays on Twitter and on the film review and Bengals on the Brain where Mike Hilton's actually playing safety because Dax Hill's down in the box covering the tight end one-on-one. So I expect to see that. I think that's still number one. You got to get rid of the tight end. You got to cover Mark Andrews, and if you can, you're going to be in great shape. So I expect it to happen.
Well, Joe, brother, we appreciate your time, man. It means a lot. And again, thanks for hanging out with us a little bit at the tailgate. The Bengals did a hell of a job on the interview with you and Glenn. And it was good to see the fam, the wives in town, and for you and Glenn. So we appreciate your time, brother. And dude, we will be there in person in Baltimore Thursday night. They're having a blackout. The question is, do you go all orange or all white in the stadium, Glenn? What do we do? I mean, Joe, what do we do?
And that's okay, Jim. I've had that my whole life, so that's he's the more handsome one.
Glenn paid me to do.
I'm
this.
sure he did. He's probably watching right now, and it sounds like he's laughing in the background here when he was with hanging out with one of you guys. But I go all white, and if they're trying to do an all blackout, do white. I was messing with some Bills fans that were coming up for the black and orange game. I was like, if you guys wear white, you're going to stand out. So, and they're like, oh, maybe we'll do that. But and I'll probably see you again. The next game will be the Jags game in Jacksonville Monday night. Glenn and I are going down for that one. I'll get him to wear some Bengals gear for that. Since the Bills
you got to bring more of those hats, Joe. There's a riot underneath the Betfred tent anytime those hats are down there. So
I will have to talk to my man Robert and have him send out a box, and then we'll do that in Jacksonville.
There you go.
All right, Joe. We appreciate it, buddy. Thanks again.
Yeah, man.
Take care, boys. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Very
Always
insightful.
Joe's up. Yeah.
My bad. We have blocked each other out there, man. But Joe's he's one of my favorite follows on social media, man. Very insightful, very technical, analytical, and I don't know if he ever played football. I know he coaches his son and everything, but man, I tell you what, it's fun watching his stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, he does a good job, and fellow New Yorker. How can you go wrong with another guy from the Empire State? But anyway, we're about 6 minutes late for our 2-minute warning, Jamie. If you want to hit that button.
I wasn't even ready for it. So okay, give me 1 second here.
Any random one.
Doesn't matter which one.
Nope, your choice.
All right, here we go.
This is the 2-minute warning!
Tony got the third down guy giving us on there.
It's amazing. He goes down during the week when there's not a game and just does that.
His practices.
That shoulder, that poor shoulder, dear God.
Who's starting us off, James?
All right. I think we did a pretty in-depth review of what to expect in Jacksonville. As I said earlier, it's just been questions back to September. Hey, I'm going to Jacksonville. What are you guys doing? So I think, Nashville's the biggest. Arizona was strong, but I'm thinking this is shaping up to maybe be the biggest away tailgate this year. So if you haven't got your tickets, certainly do so. We do also have those standing room only tickets if you're looking for a cheap way into whatever that stadium's called now, Insure Stadium or whatever it is. Down there in Jacksonville, get those. Thursday night, it's a short week. We're banged up, but I think it's good to get Sunday behind us. If we can get the W on Thursday, forget about what happened against a red hot Texans team. We'll all be better for it. Kind of reiterate what Joe said. I think 11 wins gets us in. 10 is 10 is probably going to get there. So it's a lot of football left. I think. One of the things we saw on social media all week was 5-4 was where we've been the last 2 years at this point. So we're no bigger hole than we have been in the past, and keep the faith, and let's get the W on Thursday night. Mark?
Yes, as you already said, I'm super excited. The game is Thursday after that Sunday. I'm ready to get this bad taste out of my mouth. It's a divisional game. It's going to be a hard-hitting game. They already lost to Cleveland last week. We lost our game, obviously. So, I'm just ready. I'm still ready to watch this game. I know the team is going to respond. They're going to be ready for it. These are the games that I feel we used to crumble in, and now we actually do really good in. We owe them some payback from last season. I think we played a Sunday night game there, and they nicked us at the end. So, I'm ready. Who dey?
Jamie?
Yeah, I just I want to win on Thursday. So I saw a lot of people on social media. I think that's why I put my little under tagline here. I still love Tyler Boyd. I saw a lot of people jumping on Tyler Boyd after that game on social media, saying a lot of pretty crappy stuff about TB. That guy has been money for us for years. And Burrow said this in his presser after, like, we wouldn't even been in a position to win that game without his catch to get down there. So it's just one of those things. That's football. You could tell he was pretty upset about it on the sideline, but 9 times out of 10 he's catching that ball. So I'm looking for him to do a big bounce back game on Thursday, and I really hope we come out of Baltimore with a win, and then we can focus on the amazing tailgate in Jacksonville. And that Jacksonville team just looked absolutely awful against the 49ers. So I really feel like, the pundits are all saying that we had the hardest schedule after, but like Joe said, Steelers are beatable in 2 games. Colts are definitely beatable. We beat Baltimore. That's huge for us. And so.
Hey, Jamie, will you be watching a game from the tub?
So actually what I was going to say was this is the best of both worlds for Bengals fans, because if we do, in fact, win this game on Thursday, I will do the show next week from the bathtub.
There we go.
I'm not ashamed of it, guys. Listen, these guys are all making fun of me in the group chat because I have baths. I'm not ashamed. I'm a male bather. Proud of it.
Tom keeps going.
I gotta follow that.
This is the same guy that drives a smart car. Just adding that to the equation.
Hey, a smart car with snow tires.
Have they been installed yet?
Yeah, I put them in.
In Canada, they're just called
We
tires.
don't need any
You don't
more
have to add
excuses not to head south for a game.
Yes, it was not the end of the season Sunday, but it was a big blow. It was a game they should have had, and really in so many ways, I think we saw the worst of them. And you get spoiled. You've watched them the last month and a half, and they've been as good as any team in the league. So let's hope it was an aberration. Let's hope guys that we count on got their bad game out of their system, and we go forth Thursday. They could play their very best game Thursday, and they still might lose. Baltimore's that talented and that good. But we need to see our team back to know we're going to have them the rest of the way. And I think we will in so many ways. It's going to be tough without T. Higgins, without Hendrickson, without Hubbard. But I've got confidence in everybody down there. It is going to take their best effort. And I think we'll get it, and we will move forward. Jimmy?
Yep. And Craig asked a good question. If we sell 100 ducks, we do not have to see Jamie in a tub next week on the show. So 100 ducks gets that off the screen. So, no, just want to thank everybody. Everybody in the screen, Tony, everybody worked really hard towards the charity effort, $100,000 already. Amazing. You guys are absolutely unbelievable. Thanks, everybody, for everything you guys do. Great time at the tailgate, the game, crazy game. It's never as bad as you think it is. It's never as good as you think it is. The total day after on social media is absolutely crazy, whether it's a win or a loss. But we got to come out and figure out how to win this damn game Thursday night, guys, and get back on track. And I think they'll figure out a way to make that happen on national TV this Thursday night. So, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Who day, everybody?
Who